So Hughie Fury stops Chris Norrad in two one-sided rounds. There's really not an awful lot to say about this fight. Chris Norrad, I'd never heard of him. Now, I was aware that Hughie Fury was fighting this week. I didn't make any videos. I knew he'd been fighting this week for a couple of weeks prior, but Hughie Fury, he's a fighter who kind of goes under the radar. He's not really, apart from, we'll say, hardcore fans and Tyson Fury fans, he's not really a known quantity. He's not as colourful as Tyson Fury, and his style is somewhat similar to Tyson Fury, but he's a good bit more negative. Now, in this fight, he started out on the front foot. He was more aggressive. He was throwing a lot more shots. He never seems to be able to throw that right hand straight, Hughie Fury. He always loops it. And against a guy like Chris Norrad, who was a former cruiserweight, okay, he competed actually a couple of years ago for the Canadian cruiserweight kind of title or something, whatever it was. And he came into the ring the heavier man. So essentially Hughie Fury was fighting a fat cruiserweight in this fight. And, he's still, against someone like this, throwing a right hand, from a kind of bent angle where you can kind of see it coming. You can get away with it against a guy like Chris Norrad, but he done it against Kubrat Pulev. Kubrat Pulev could see him a mile away. I don't really remember him throwing many rights against Joseph Parker. So there's little technical flaws there from Hughie Fury that he still makes. Look, Hughie Fury, he was more aggressive like he said he would be, but against this level of opposition, most fighters would be aggressive. I don't think Hughie Fury took a single shot, and that wasn't necessarily because he was elusive. I don't think I saw Chris Norrad even throw any shots. I'm sure he did, but he was very negative. He wasn't there to win the fight, which is a sad thing. Ironically enough, there's a heavyweight I know here in Ireland. Only last Saturday in the gym told me he was offered this fight against Hughie Fury on short notice. He turned the fight down. He said, look, it was short notice and I can make more money fighting the journeyman out in Boston than I would for fighting this fight. So I can't really, argue against Chris Norrad being the opponent, because I don't think that Team Fury had much time to get a decent opponent in. But even still, Hughie Fury, we don't really learn anything about where Hughie Fury is in his career against an opponent like this. We just don't really see anything. We need to see him kind of step up to, I would say, Hughie Fury European level. Your Kabayels of the world, who else? Someone like an Ajay Kabayel. Someone like that, I think, would be good for Hughie Fury to take on, just to kind of have an idea where he's at, because he's been to world level twice against Joseph Parker and Kubrat Pulev. People dispute the Joseph Parker fight and say they thought Hughie Fury won it. I remember watching it, and I thought it was a very close fight, but I did think Joseph Parker just nicked it. I thought he was the aggressor in the fight, and that's what I was looking for. Against Pulev, I think he clearly lost that fight. They're still playing up that eye injury, Team Fury. And the cut eye, I think it was the second round in the Kubrat Pulev fight, Hughie Fury sustained a cut. That was already a pre-existing cut, but it was the jab from Pulev opened it up. But Team Fury controlled that cut very well. And by the fifth round, that cut was stopping bleeding. So I don't think that it made a biggest deal as they thought it did. I think that I think that Hughie Fury, he still needs a lot of work. He is quite young. He is only 24 years old. So I think that there is still improvements there. But this level of opposition for Hughie Fury at this stage of his career, we won't learn anything. We won't gauge anything from him beating a Chris Norrad of the world. We need to see him step up to that level above, or maybe 2 or 3 levels above, to be fair, considering Chris Norrad. But no, it was a clockwork-like performance from Hughie Fury. He got the guy out of there. He did what he needed to do. It would have looked a hell of a lot worse if he was going late with this guy. So he did what he needed to do. He got the win, and onwards and upwards. They did say in the post-fight interview that they want to see Hughie Fury more active. I think that would be the best, because he has been very inactive his career. When I think he had, was it over a year out of the ring, and then he fought Parker, and then he had a fight against Sam Sexton last year, and then Pulev, and he's not been very active. And he is quite young, so maybe they don't want to rush him, but still, you don't want to get so rusty that you start making mistakes. So that's what I'm thinking. I think maybe they want to just keep the ball rolling. But can he get out is what I'm asking, because this is the first Mick Hennessy show officially, I think, since last year, this time last year. So it's not an ideal situation for Hughie Fury, but like I said, all talking aside, let's look at this fight here. Decent performance. Again, he wasn't in there with much, but a decent performance nonetheless. Onwards and upwards from Hughie Fury. Let me know what you guys think down below. Did you enjoy the fight? Did you see it? Where do you think Hughie Fury will go? I want to just say a quick apologies for the lack of uploads this week. It's been a very, 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 very hectic week in my own life that I've just not had the chance to like make a video, sit down, record a video. So apologies about that. But I'm going to try and get some out hopefully tomorrow as well if I can. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. Leave your thoughts down below. As always, like the video if you like it. If you're new to the channel, please hit subscribe. And as always, I will talk to you after.